Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, I don't know. Yeah, so welcome you all to this great event put together by Mog Foundation and of course in collaboration with Help a Girl. So we have amazing speakers right now, and we're just gonna dive right in because we don't intend to, spend your whole day here. So we're just gonna dive in and introduce the speakers, and then have Grace, really tell us why we are here today. So in no particular order, please. Nobody should crucify me. It's just in no particular order. Okay, so yeah. So in no particular order, these are our guest speakers for today.
All right, thank you so much. I'm so excited for this space. Just coming together from different countries, communities, backgrounds, with different experiences, just coming together to share the challenges that our countries face. So I'm not going to share who am I already, because I think you already mentioned. But I think the main purpose for the platform, it is to discuss the major challenges that we are facing in South Africa, like early marriage for teenagers, and maybe teenage pregnancy as well. And I know in South Africa currently we are faced with a high rate of gender-based violence. So I thought, why not, collect great leaders who are doing the most in their communities, to come together and share and discuss on those challenges and come up with solutions on what can we do better to continue to empower and to impact and to bring positive change into our communities. So I think this is why we are here. I think it's everybody's platform, not only the Help a Girl platform and the Mark Foundation platform, but it is for every one of us just to come and discuss. And so maybe just to share a little bit about Help a Girl, because it was established in 2017 with an aim of empowering young girls in different communities. So we've been going on now for 4 years. We focus a lot on menstruation because we know that a lot of young girls miss school due to lack of access to sanitary pads, and as well to information about health issues. Some of them experience like menstruation, like period pains, but they don't know how to help themselves. Even if they have period pains, they won't go to school because then they don't have information on how they can deal with these issues. So our aim is to raise funds, is to support schools, but most importantly, to help a young girl to believe in the power of their dreams, to believe in the power of their goals, to say it doesn't matter where you're coming from, you can achieve something. So we use the pads as a tool to reach out to young girls, and as well doing mentorship and helping students with academics, registering in university. So we're all over. And I'm so grateful for the platform as well, to connect with the Mark Foundation because they're doing the most as well. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much there. Okay, so I'd like to invite Mercy right now. Mercy, you are the founder of MUG Foundation. So can you please tell us why you think there is need for us all to be here right now and have this few minutes and talk about the challenges, girls face?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm actually amazed at the turnouts. I'm so happy. Largest Zoom meeting I've had. Everyone for coming to honor this in so much. Linda, of MUD is Miriam Ujunwagel Foundation. Miriam was my younger sister who was abused at the age of 8 and she died. So I used her name to create a platform.
Let's go over to Sanele. Okay, you are a cyber security advocate. So tell us, do you think in your line of duty or in your experience, do you think women or girls, as the case may be, are threatened?
Right. Yeah, I am. Everyone can hear me. I think it's a yes. All right, great. So yeah, name is Sanele. I'm a cyber strategist. So I'm working IT security. I run my own two companies, and we try to do our best to uplift the community, the youth especially. When it comes to the challenges being faced in South Africa as it stands, I feel like women specifically, they don't only face bread and butter issues, but are challenged with a lot of gender discrimination, your unemployment, your poverty, and most importantly, the gender-based violence that we, of course, speaking about as well on this call. And I'm sure most of you guys would have seen already that the government is also trying to bring some sort of campaigns to assist that violence and fight against it as it is, all the gender inequality that's happening. And again, for those who obviously don't know gender-based violence and the fact that it comes in different forms, it's not just one form. You get the violence against the women and girls, the violence against bisexual, lesbians, gays, the intimate partner violence, domestic violence. So it's so many different forms of it, and sometimes it happens indirectly, and that's the importance as well of us coming together, being able to inform people, share the information, so they can understand the different forms of this as it is. So part of what I want to share with you guys is, some stats from some time back, and I wrote it down here, but a survey that was done in terms of that more than half of all the women murdered, that was back in 2009, it was like 56% were killed by an intimate male partner. So that should concern you a bit as well. Between 25 to 40% of South African women have experienced sexual or intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And also like 50% of women report having experienced emotional economic abuse as well. And unfortunately, a lot of times what happens is we're unable to get the stats as it is, because a lot of other people don't even report this. We just speak about stats that obviously have been reported. How many more out there have not been reported on? No one really truly knows. But again, back to the point, gender-based violence specifically, it is a widespread problem in our country, in South Africa, as it is, and it impacts you in all aspects, of life. And as it stands, I would say it's more systematic, as we would speak sometimes about racism. So GBV is more systematic, and it is deeply entrenched in the institutions, our cultures, traditions that we have in South Africa. So as to just give me a sec there to go on that, um, the expectations also comes with this. And when I say expectations, it's the roles of the positions that we play in even relationships. The expectations that the woman should do like this, the man should live like this. It's a social and a political system, where they treat men as superior than women, or where women cannot protect their own bodies or meet their basic needs, especially with the pandemic that is happening right now. And a typical, for example, for those maybe who doesn't know, if you look at workplaces, most women occupy low positions, and while men are occupying, the more senior or decision-making positions. And even where the women are in senior positions anyways, they still face with a gender, what do they call it, gap in terms of pay, which is again another issue. So as it goes along, gender-based violence, guys, once again, comes in many forms. And lastly, don't look away from the pandemic that happened now. It impacted obviously globally, but when I speak about a home specifically in South Africa, more than 2 million jobs have been lost by women. I'm not talking about men right now, by women specifically, as it stands, and this of course increased their dependence on the social relief grants that, being provided by the government. But not only that, with that being said, it puts women in the poverty, and now they're victims again of violence. So that's it from my side, and I want to leave you guys with, look, the sad reality is a lot of women are being murdered every 3 hours, and that makes our femicide rate 5 times the global average, and every 3 minutes a child is assaulted. So it's definitely something we should talk about, definitely something we should inform more people about, and stick together and see a path forward, how to decrease the numbers.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll come back to you. But quickly, let me go back to Mercy. So Mercy, can you just tell us, you were sharing something with us.
So many Miriam Ujunwa Girl Foundation. Miriam Ujunwa was my immediate younger sister. She was abused at the age of 8, and we didn't make it to the hospital on time, and she lost her life. To tell the abuse is also from the home, because the person who did that was from my cousin. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Like a little bit.
Okay. So I said Miriam Ujunwa was my immediate younger sister's name. She was abused at the age of 8, and we didn't make it earlier to the hospital, and she died just at the hospital door. So I'm using her as a medium to tell the public that child abuse is not just from the streets. It also happens in homes. But the person who did it was actually a senior cousin of mine. So I use this medium to tell people that when you educate your kids on child abuse, you start from home before you go to the streets. So I will be talking on Nigerian today and child marriage. Presently, we all know that Nigerian today is the End SARS movement. The End SARS movement was a protest against SARS that they're violating the rights of the youth. It started as a peaceful protest, and before it turns into violence, buildings were burned, cars were burned, people lost their jobs. The government had to impose curfew and lockdown, but at the moment, I could say there is peace out there in the street. You can actually move around now without having fear of someone attacking you or so. Okay. So I'll be talking now on child marriage. So child marriage, according to UNICEF, that Nigeria has the child marriage in Nigeria, So Nigeria has the highest third absolute child marriage in the world, which runs from 44% of little girls forced into marriage. We are talking about 3,538,000. And Nigeria has the highest number of child marriage in the world. And child marriage can be defined as marriage before 18. Yes, so if you have a child, both male or female, and they go into marriage, or you force them into marriage before the age of 18, that is child marriage. And before, there are several different laws related to the minimum legal age of child marriage in Nigeria. Under the Marriage Act of 1990, the minimum legal age and for female, although they are able to they're able to get married before this, if the parents or the guardian has a consent to it. So I will be talking about causes of child marriage, which is what we see every day, even within our family. We have the poverty. Poverty is what pushes a child into early marriage. Poverty in the country is the most sure age marriage happen in the poorest. Like you see such happening in rural areas, you see such happening in villages, in people who can't afford to finance that child. They force that child into getting married on time.
Messi, I think I'm struggling to hear from your side. I don't know if everybody is struggling to hear, but yeah, the connection is very bad. So we are losing you, and I don't want to lose this most important information that you're sharing. The possible, maybe you can just maybe check your connection because we're losing you.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, what she was just trying to say there, that MUG, that's Miriam Ujunwa Foundation, is a name. It's not her name. You'll be wondering why did she choose another name, but she just said that is because her younger sister's name, her late younger sister's name, was Miriam Ujunwa, and their family lost her because she was abused at a very young age. I think she said 8 years, and before they could take her to hospital, they lost her already. And she was just trying to tell us that we should look inwards, that most of these children abusers or pedophiles or perverts are people in our families. That is, it happened to her younger sister inside their own home, their own house. And she went ahead to say that one of the challenges, because we are talking about challenges girls face in the society, that's the topic we're discussing today, right? And she says one of the challenges from what she's seen is early child marriages, and that was what she was saying before we lost her. So that's just me trying to recap what she just said. And that actually brought me to you, Abongile Kwaza. Okay, so you are a social worker. Looking at Resi's situation right now, her younger sister was actually abused in her own house. So what are social workers doing presently to try to curb this issue? Is no more in the society, like outside there being raped on the street. It's actually happening in the family, within the setting of the nuclear family. So what are your responsibilities, or what are social workers doing right now to try to reach out to families to make sure such things are being curtailed?
Thank you so much. From our side, as social workers, we encourage families like children to speak, because I think a lot of times young girls, even women, not only like young girls, people are afraid to talk. People are afraid to report the perpetrators because they're protecting the family identity. And most of the child abuse, it's the people that are within the family. So if we can get the victims to talk and not protect the perpetrators, I think things will be very easy. And like going to the police, just people going to the police and reporting, or even speaking to friends or to neighbors, just reporting and not keep quiet.
Okay.
We see a lot of perpetrators walking around the street, and this is a very big issue that people don't want to perpetrate it. And I think it's very challenges for intervention.
So,
can I just come in here for a second?
Yeah, you can come in.
Hi, morning everyone. Coming back to our babies being abused. About 2 years ago, a social worker approached me because they needed a home for a 6-year-old girl. And what baffled me and what hurt me and what confused me so much was this child was 6 years old, living with a grandmother, and the mother lived in the yard of this residence. And when the 2 uncles came out of prison, they gave the grandmother's address. So the first uncle came out a year before, the other brother came out of jail. And this was repeat offenders of raping young girls. And yet our government allows a situation like that to happen, where this poor innocent little girl has to now share a home with 2 repeat offended rapists. And they raped her. They tried to rape her to a friend on a field. Now, how can us as a society and our government allow things like this to happen? And this girl was also put in a situation where her little brother came with, so I had them for about 2 months. And she had to look after that baby as well, because the mother and the father are drug addicts. the grandmother wasn't taking care of them either. So again, I'm asking, what are we doing as a community? Why is our government not concentrating on what is happening to our babies, our little girls? How many girls hasn't been killed? I mean, I looked at a Facebook page this morning to find that another 6-year-old was raped, brutally raped and murdered. She was stabbed in the neck. So how can we as a community come in and prevent these things from happening? And I mean, our kids are so afraid to tell us when something has happened that is bad, that has happened to them. They don't share it with us. Or in some cases, they do say, Uncle so-and-so touched us. And then we step back. No, Uncle would never do that. When are we going to start believing our little babies when they come forward and they say to us, they've been hurt by an uncle. They've been hurt by an uncle friend that came into our homes and they're doing this to our kids. So that needs to be educated. And I think Mercy said it so well. We need to start education in our homes. We need to start telling our children, please be open, talk to us. If anybody hurts you, come in and talk to us. Tell us about it, and we need to start believing our little ones.
Thank you so much, Simon. I was about coming to you, but you know, I want to ask you this, Gracefill, since you're already raising your hands. Okay, so Gracefill, we are in African society where some of our African culture do not allow our children to actually express themselves the way they want to, especially here in Nigeria. And thank God you are in Nigeria and you're living in Nigeria. So I want to ask you, Gracefill, what do you think we should, because most of us here are young people, some of us don't have our own family, some are just starting theirs. So I think it should actually start with us. We should be that change advocate. What do you think we should do to draw our children close to us so we can actually talk to them and not just, they can actually talk to us and not just go out there when such things happen to them? Gracefill, please. Please, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Priti. Okay, first of all, this is really emotionally touching to me because I'm also a rape victim and I know how it is. But okay, let me just get it. Can I hear your question again? Because I'm really trying to. Can you please repeat your question so I can focus on the question?
Okay, I actually asked, but I directed it to one of our panelists. But it's good you're trying to share because you said you're personally touched by this.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, Primercy and I have spoken to some couple of some radio stations about this child abuse and how parents need to have this connection with their children. First of all, if a mother decides to neglect her child, there won't be this relationship between the both of them. So once that child is being abused outside, the whole scenario of what if I should tell my mom now she'll be scared of me, will she believe me? I think we need to make parents understand that these kids are saying things that are necessary. Once you actually see a kid trying to run away from a particular uncle or auntie, you have to ask that kid question. Why are you always running away from this auntie? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? So we need to be conscious of when a kid is neglecting a particular uncle or auntie. We need to know that I think there's something wrong between the both of them. I think there's this feeling, there's something that this uncle is doing to this girl that she's actually running away from him. And also, it's also vice versa. Just like I said, in every 13 boys, there's always a male child that have been abused. So we should also not neglect the fact that males are also being abused. So once a child is running away from an elderly siblings of his or her, we should ask the question, why are you running away from this person? And again, our society in Africa, Nigeria in particular, we tend to believe our elders more than the kids. So we two elder siblings, we should have this relationship with our younger ones that they can open up to us. We should not give them this feeling that no, you cannot talk to me, I'm too big for you. We neglect them, we allow them to have friends outside, not even in the house. Like myself now, I made this relationship with my younger sister. I made her to be like my best friend, to be close to me. And when we come back, I'm like, how was your day? What did you do? How was it? So for her to just relate everything that happened to me, you see that she can open up to us. So once you make your younger siblings your friend, your best friend, it's easy for them to open up for you, to you, to tell you what happened. Also, often to have this self-confidence in themselves, because once they have this self-confidence, it's allowed them to have the space to talk to us about what happened, how maybe this uncle touched them in an inappropriate way. It's easy for them to open up to us. Just like the last time we mentioned, and I have a radio interview on Armed Force Radio, we told them that if a child is at home, he's only staying in her room, or he's only staying in his room, we should ask that child, how come that if everybody is together and that child is running away, she wants to be to isolate herself? Maybe there's a particular person in that house that child don't want to see, or that child have been threatened by one uncle or one auntie. So we should learn to have this cordial relationship with our younger siblings and make them our best friend, relate with them, share things with them, tell them the law of have this confidence to be able to talk to kill you. Because this is what this abusers does. They tell them that if you open up, I will kill you, I will kill your family. No, we should tell them about that no one can kill you if you open up to us. So all I have to say is that relationship matters a lot. So we should have a relationship with our younger siblings also.
So thank you so much, Gracefill. I heard it very well. So we're still talking about girl society, challenges girls face in the society, and this is brought together by Her For Girl Foundation as well as Smog Foundation. In like 2-3 minutes, I want to call on you, Carmen. You have this program you do where you actually share sanitary pads to girls. I understand it's from society. That is a challenge as well. So can you please tell us about your journey and what have you found us so far? Is it something we should all venture in once in a while to see that young girls actually get sanitary pads?
Yes. Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I came across a online article about how does a homeless woman deal with their period. And that was my starting point, was starting my homeless sanitary drive. Starting my homeless sanitary drive. And it's amazing how when you start something like this, how many other things your eyes get opened to. And I found out in the time that the schoolgirl stays out of school 4 to 5 days because, number one, they don't have a sanitary pad, or earlier on mentioned about the menstrual cramps and all of that, so they don't have some form of medication to ease that pain. And that is when I started concentrating on the schoolgirl as well. So what happens is, just for an argument's sake, this was a mother and a daughter that gave me a donation on Thursday. So in the packs would be the sanitary pads, and there would be soap in, and they were so cute, they put in chocolates in this bag. So here is 2 packs of sanitary pads in 28 days time, get the same kind of donation, and then I would repeat my situation that or go to the schools for that is if it's not school holidays, do that every 28 days and ensure that that the girls are at least sorted with the sanitary pads and that they can come to school comfortably. The one thing that I would love to do, and that is something that I can only dream about today still, is to get a van. My mom is a registered nurse, and then actually to see to these girls, just to get a cramp tablet because maybe they can't afford it, and just to try and keep our girls in school and educated, and not to miss out on anything, because that is so sad that the girls actually miss out on school and an important schoolwork because they don't have a sanitary pad or they don't have a tablet. Yeah, so because what we also found out that some of the schools don't have enough resources to be able to purchase some sanitary towels and just keep it in the office, so if something happened at school. So that was also an eye-opener to me when I started walking this path in providing sanitary towels to the homeless women. So I've adopted a few schools, one high school and 2 primary schools, and they are so grateful for when they do get these donations, because like I said, they don't have the funds to actually purchase. And I am also trying to make to bring awareness that, and what saddens me is that when you walk into any restroom or anywhere, you find free condoms. Now, I've raised my children, my 3 boys, I've raised them the difference between a want and a need. Now, to me, a condom is a want, whereas your sanitary pad is a need. So why is government not sponsoring us, our schools, and not seeing to our homeless women and giving these necessities for free? And that is the awareness that I'm also trying to bring across. And it's not only in Cape Town, it's all across our provinces, because so many young girls has reached out to me from different provinces asking me how can they do the same. And what I can say is, as a woman, you can carry 2-3 packs in your bag. Put a box of buy a box of sanitary pads, put it in your car, and when you see a person on the street that might need it, give it to her. You will never know what the circumstances are, just by giving a sanitary pad out to a girl or to a homeless woman. And go to your local school and go and ask if there's a need and drop off a few packs there. That is how we as a community can come in and also assist with that problem that we have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. She has actually, given us some tips. We can actually go drop off some few packs of sanitary towels in schools. But okay, I'm going to come back to that issue because I wanted to say something. Or maybe let me just say it once so the conversation will flow. So, Mr. Fries, I have seen your hand. I'm going to come to you as soon as I'm done with Carmen. So, please, I want to ask you, you said we should drop off some of these things in schools. In some countries, I'm not trying to label any country black, but don't you think that some teachers will siphon these sanitary towels, take more to their houses instead of sharing to the students?
Linda, that is the most unfortunate thing that we deal with, because I can drop 2 boxes packed with sanitary towels. My question would, or something in the back of my mind is always like, is the girls at the school really going to get a sanitary pack? And unfortunately, in human behavior, when we get something and it's nice, you take home. That's unfortunate. So I can only but pray that the girls at the school is going to get the sanitary pad. And sometimes the girls feel a bit embarrassed if you approach them personally to give them a sanitary pad. So the better idea was to drop the boxes at the school. But it makes a lot of sense what you say. But like I'm a very trusting person. So I trust and I pray that it actually gets to the schoolgirl. But in another way, perhaps if we could, put it in a nice packaging, like I said, like I showed you, this is in a brown paper bag, and then maybe give it to the schoolgirls. Ask the school if you can come there for a few minutes and get all the girls together and then just distribute it yourself. In that way, we know that the girl is going to get it.
So much. That was so insightful. So can I hear you, Mr. Fries, you're raising your hand? Okay, please tell us your name, where you're calling from, where you are speaking from, where you are at the moment.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Price. Hello, can you hear me? Can
We
everyone
can
hear
hear
me?
you. We can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Price. I'm joining from Abuja, Nigeria. Well, this is a very interesting program. I am so happy for letting me in to be part of this meeting. So what I have to contribute in the course of the meeting is that, first of all, before we talk about the challenges a girl child face in a society, let me speak from Nigeria, where I came from, and this is Africa. There are some traditions and some norms that everything is against the girl child. Everything in Nigeria, here in Nigeria especially, you understand. So, but what are this thing? What we have to do in order to come against all these norms and traditions? Like for instance, one of the participants made mention of early child marriage. In Nigeria, especially the early child marriage is is very high, especially in the northern part of Nigeria because of their religion, which is in the north most of them practice Islam. Like if you come in the southeast and southwest, I know early child marriages. Let me say it's not up to 5%. So the first thing now we should coming on the early child marriage. First thing we should talk about, okay, how these people now, since this is this is their one of the this thing that their religion permits, how are we going to reach out to them to let them know this is not good? That is number one. Then coming on the girls are like rape. There are the rape incidence in Nigeria is very high because one, parents neglect their girl child. Parents neglect, they don't take good care of their female child in Nigeria, which is another cause of it. We should be able to educate our parents, our we and the youth now, trying to let our fathers, especially with the parents, with the educated ones, trying to let them know, see, female child are not supposed to be neglected. They need attention. You as a parent, you give them attention, talk to them, know, okay, what are your challenges? Like try to communicate with them, give them a free environment. But here now, any small thing now you will see our parents now, all their care is about religion. The next thing they say, go to church, go to this, go and pray. That they feel maybe going to all those places now will make you not to, but neglecting that is not everything we'll talk about. There are some certain things that we need to use our common sense. Like now, it's not about telling your child to go to church because you believe that when your child is going to church, there are all these bad people now. Most of them, even in churches now, they rape girls now. So it's all about we now trying to let our females, trying to let them know, okay, this is what you need to know. Like trying to sex education. Most parents now don't lecture their children on sex education. They try to shy away from it. If your child hits some certain age, you should start letting him know this one is for this one is for this. But we shy away from all these things now. Let them when our friends now when their parents now started letting them know of all those things now, they try to before you know our child they go astray. So this thing now, let's start from the root. Let's get it from let's we now. If you have a female, if you have a female like a niece, your niece, like our family member, let's sensitize them. Let's tell them this is what we need to know. Thank you. This is the little I have to send for now.
Okay, thank you so much. You just heard from Mr. Fries, and he spoke from Abuja, Nigeria, and he was actually trying to reiterate that one of the challenges girls face in the world currently is early child marriage. And he made a point that I didn't really. It's interesting though. He was just trying to say that it's not just about going to religious gathering. We should try to create balance. We should encourage early child sex education, and his points are very valid. Thank you so much, Mr. Fries. Okay, so I think I should go back to Queen Mercy right now to see if her network is a bit better. I hope it's better. So you were talking about early child marriage as one of the challenges girls face in Nigeria, especially in the north where you reside. Tell us more about that quickly.
The The effect, why it is more here in the northern part of Nigeria is because of the cultural, gender, education, and insecurity. But it's more on culture. We still have this culture rooted deep into us. It doesn't really matter if we're in 2020, we still have our parents still having that mindset of those who lived in the 80s. And mostly, from what I've seen from my workplace, from the Muslims around me, Muslims I see at work, is mostly on poverty. This child marriage is still traced back to poverty. Parents seem to give out their female children because they can't take care of them, because they think that they should using their sacrificial animal go to school or help the family to able to cater for some financial needs. So it is more here in the north because of the culture and poverty. I've one day been at work where the woman was saying that at the age of 2021, she will make sure her daughter gets married. And I asked why. She says she don't want when she gets up to 28, 29, she has to start going to church or
Okay, so before I get to you, Gracefill, I can see your hands raised, but we have Great Asika. This is the last. We actually have a panel that's supposed to be talking, but I personally want to hear from her because she made something that was quite striking. So after her, I'm sorry, I have to face just the panelists right now. Please don't be offended. So can I hear you?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't hear well with my phone. I'm using my phone. No, with the thing about it's a very big deal with kids being raped and stuff. And to talk about it, it's not easy. Especially when you know, because what happened to me is this. I had a friend. I was in high school, so I used his phone a lot, and I was into internet and stuff, and bring me around and hang out. So people assumed that we were dating, and I didn't see that. I thought maybe everyone knew that we were friends because we were friends. And I thought, this friend's a good guy. We're talking, everything's fine. We talk about the same topics, right? Fast forward, he had feelings for me. I told him, we can't do this. I don't want to be a friend if you're gonna think bad about me, like in a sexual way. Eventually, he started bribing me, giving me stuff, and I said, I don't want this stuff. And then later on, he said he wants to stop there. I'm like, I didn't ask you to give me these things, and some of the things I didn't take. I don't owe you. And then we got back being friends again, right? Because I'm like, no, man, he didn't mean it. You know, I'm forgiving, I'm stupid, I'm naive and whatnot. And one night he just wouldn't let me go home, and it happened. And I went to his friend, and I told him, what should I do? He said, go to the police. And I went to the police, and yeah, that didn't work out well. They treated me like I was like making this up, like maybe some because there are people make these things up, like they lie and they say they're being raped and they, you know, it's very bad, so they make us look bad when we really are in trouble. And showed them my clothing because I didn't wash. I had to go there, and I showed them my clothing. They were like, oh, okay. And then they wrote my statement, and then they wrote just nonsense. They didn't even record me, at least, you know, to keep the real information, like the real information right. They just wrote like, I don't know, they just didn't write stuff that are correct, you know. And it went to court several times, took like 2 years, and then nothing happened. We went to my parents' place, tried to pay me off like 20,000 rand to keep my mouth quiet, like to be quiet. And I told them, I don't want your money. Why are you paying me if you're saying I didn't do anything? The whole society was laughing at me, like, you're lying, you're in a dating relationship, we know you're in a relationship. I called out his neighbor when it happened. They ignored me. I screamed, they ignored me, and then the next day they said, no, we thought you were just arguing with your boyfriend because we see you guys all together, so we know you're dating. His uncle was like, why are you doing this? You're a witch. Why are you lying? We know you're dating him. And I'm like, I'm not dating him. And it's like, he knows my boyfriend. He knows my family. Like, why would I lie? And stuff like that. And then it just, after 2 years, the court was making fun of me. Like, they would laugh. They would let him talk while I'm talking on the thing, while I'm standing with the judge. I'm being asked questions. I'm answering questions. We make fun, like, make jokes, like, in court, like everyone would let him be. And then eventually I didn't even ask, no one asked me for a lawyer and stuff like that. I'm like, what am I standing alone? And the last time I was there, it was in 2015 on my birthday. 11 September, and then that's it. I was humiliated. Everyone laughed at me. I cried. They were like, don't cry now. Tell us the story. And then they read the statement. It was all wrong. I asked them, did you take it? Like, what about the pants I showed you? Like, nah, nothing was valid. And then after this, I'm going to call you. It's been like that since now. No one has called me. I tried to contact them, and they said, no, to contact that person, contact that. So I think what happens is this, people just get tired of reporting these things, because even the government, the system, like the police, is to take it lightly. And I had been raped after that in second time, and I didn't report it. I was like, it's not happening. I'm not humiliating myself again like that. And people told my mom, always was awkward with my mom. I didn't talk about the details. And everyone just talked about it like it's supposed to be something I get over with. You know, it happened. It's like normal sexual intercourse. I should get over it, and no, we don't talk about these things. So I think it's important to talk about this so we don't get awkward, and then to take it seriously also when someone reports something like this, and not to just assume that everyone, you know, is having a relationship and it should be fine. So that was the thing that bothered me a lot, and especially now it's happening to kids. My friend, I'll just make this short. My friend, her daughter came back and said, this guy touched me. She didn't even hesitate. She went straight to the guy and she was like, why are you touching my daughter in private place? He was like, I didn't do it. I was just playing. She was angry because she was a rape victim, and then she just attacked him, which I told her was not good. She had to, face the charges, but eventually I don't know what happened there. I think the guy ended up not pressing charges like he said he would. So these things I think are important, because a lot of us are growing up, you know, being victims of these things, and if we don't talk about it in young age, if we don't look after our kids, I think it's just gonna get worse, especially in our cultures. We closer people we don't talk about these things. It's embarrassing, you know. It should not be talked about. So yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for your case. I'm so sorry for your case. It's really, really sad, really sad one. So I I don't really know if I should go to Carmen or Abongile because she's a social worker. So but I'll just go to Abongile first. So as a social worker, what are you doing, or what are your members or colleagues doing to bring justice to people who actually summoned the courage to go to court? And if you heard her story, she said that she was actually being laughed at in court. Are you not? I'm kind of thinking if I should suggest or ask, are you not working, or are social workers not supposed to have some lawyers that they should give out to rape victims to actually defend them or prosecute the case in court, as the case may be?
Yeah. So, well, I don't really work in courts. I mostly focus on youth who are in conflict with crime. So my role is to provide or render services to perpetrators who've done rape or who have killed, you know. So I'm not always the one who actually go to court and present cases. But I mean to share a little bit of maybe information that I know of the process is that most of the times when a victim needs a representative, you know, the social workers are there to present the client. And as well, maybe if the person needs a lawyer, can get a lawyer. But most of the times, especially if it's children, the social workers are always there to present the cases. And as well, we do like child removal. If the child is not safe at home or there's a situation of rape, a removal is being done immediately. We do not wait. And that's why I always say there's one, you need to speak. Yes, I know it's very, very difficult to speak, but it's very important that you speak with somebody, a neighbor, or going to the police, because it's very important. But what I've realized now, a lot of cases are not being attended to because there's not enough evidence. Somebody can get arrested for about 3 months. If there's not enough evidence, that case, you know, people don't like at courts, they don't really pay much attention, of which this is a huge challenge to a lot of victims. That's why they don't see a reason as to why must I report this case. And I always say as well that it doesn't matter when a person was raped, even if it was 2 years or 3 years, it's very, very important to to still report, still go to the police, so that a case can be opened. But yeah, I can't really talk much as to what process is being done, because that is not really my focus when I go to court. I go to court with the perpetrator, giving a full intervention to the perpetrator so that he can actually talk as to what happened, why you did what you did. I think, but now I'm very interested as to what can we do, because we hear there's a lot of these issues. I know in South Africa, like there's a lot of rape, there's a lot of murder, but what can we do? And I like what Mr. Friends, I don't sure if I pronounce it correct, because I like the question that he asked. He said that what can we do? We have these challenges in our societies, and we know what these challenges are, but what can we do practically as game changers, as influencers, because we know what is right, but now practically what can we really do?
Okay, so I was about calling Gracefill. Gracefill, you've worked with you collaborated with a lot of agencies, and you major in rape. When I was being sent your profile, I read a lot of things where you've worked with a lot of rape issues. So can you tell us more about what rape victims can do, because something needs to be done, justice needs to be served. Okay, so I want to hear from, while she's trying to get her audio together because we can't seem to hear her. Sanele, you are a cyber strategist. I mean, can we just say that most times girls meet their raper, people that eventually rape them, rape perpetrators on the internet? So can you please tell us what can be done from your angle, from your experience, to curb this menace?
That's actually very that's very challenging, and the biggest reason that it's very challenging is because on the internet it's very easy to be anyone. You can be a woman when you're a man as well at the same time. But I think from my experience, the best thing to ever do, when people are busy online, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be, to tell the difference between someone who's real and someone who's just a perpetrator is you can even look through their pictures. A lot of people that are real people, they usually post pictures where they'll even be with people as well, aside from being alone the whole time. But a lot of times people that just post pictures where they're just alone entirely, it is very difficult to say that is truly there. The other way is, nowadays, of course, we have video calls. If you truly want to find out who the other person is, you can simply request it. And for me, it has become something that it should be easy to ask. If I'm not sure who you are, if you truly are who you say you are, I need to verify that. And I say this because sometimes people feel you're overstepping in some sort of way. But if you look at your banking app on your phone, every single moment you sign into it, it asks you to use your fingerprint or to type in a code. There's a reason behind that. Exactly the same thing as life. So even if it's with a partner, as much as we were speaking just about online, but even the same with a partner, when you're not feeling something, when you're not sure about something, you ask, you verify. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't trust it, but you confirm and you getting the reassurance that it is what it was. And I think a lot of people need to also understand that. And again, especially for women, when you're uncomfortable, say it. When you're thinking about something, say it. If you need to find out something, ask it. Because you're never gonna know until you say or ask about it. But if you just sit there, then there's a lot of factors, because a lot of other men assume certain things. They assume that since I just touched you on your arm and you didn't say anything about it, it's okay. Since my hand touched your thigh by mistake and you didn't say anything about it, it's okay. and it escalates bit by bit. And something that my father always told me, and I think it applies everywhere in life, doesn't matter where, every single thing starts little. There's no one who starts just by being a rapist. There's no one who starts just by killing people or being a thief. It starts little by little by little by little. And that's how it compounds and it becomes something big, and if you don't stop it, it just becomes that massive. And it's the same in the relationship. When something is small, whether it's a bit of abuse in terms of verbally, you speak about it. You stop it right there and there. Because once you tolerate, people just keep on doing it because you tolerating it from the get-go. You're not changing anything. So yeah, so that's it from my side in terms of that. I think Mr. Fries also has something to say or ask there. I see his hand is up.
Before I get to Mr. Fries, thank you so much. You made a very valid point, so I need to reiterate on that. And the next couple of minutes we'll be rounding off today. If there is a first to do this more often, then we can do it more often. So he talked about making sure you request for video calls, and he also talked about pictures, making sure that you check up the pictures. But I need to talk about the picture something real quick, because some people actually take their time to download one person's picture, like really take time. They have time. They download the pictures and they upload like 50 pictures of someone that is not them. Like they go to one fine profile, download the pictures of the person, upload it in a fake account. And so I really think that what you should be looking at when you're looking at pictures is the time. Okay? When someone uploads 50 pictures within 2 days, there's something to worry about that. So whenever you're even looking at the pictures, please look at the time the pictures were uploaded. Check the number of likes. Take your time. If you want to give relationship or maybe take someone serious, then you should be able to, and you want to go through cyber. This is not a dating site. This is a social media. So take your time to go through the pictures. When these pictures were uploaded, check the wears, check everything, and then go for the video call and speak up. Of course, when someone touches you here and you don't complain, the person keeps going, and before you say hello Jack, and the deed is done, and you will be regretting. So thank you so much, Sanele, for your contribution. It was really, really prompt and needed. So I will be rounding off right now. So in the last couple of minutes or more than an hour, we'll be able to try to narrow down some of the challenges girls face in the society. We've talked about rape, we've talked about sanitary towels, we've talked about early child marriage, we've talked about lack of sexual education, and the need to create balance. Okay, so it's one thing to talk about these things, right? And it's something else to go home with something I'll call a communique. What are we going to be doing as game changers? Like if we're leaving this conversation right now, what should we go out and do? And from what Gracefill had said, she said we should be more observant. So please, we need to be observant. We need to try to be friends with these girls. We need to be friends with them. And then Carmen said we should try to drop a few sanitary packs once in a while to schools and hope that they share it and not hoard it like some countries palliative. So, and we should also try to create a balance, talk more of sexual education, and try to be more observant from what Sanele has said when we are meeting people on the cyberspace. Now, this is what we have to do. We are such a few in number, and I think we have like 3 countries here with over how many million population. So I want to ask all my panelists right now and participant right now, please drop in the comment section. I'm going to read everything in the comment section. How are we going to make sure we get more people involved in this? We've basically said what that needs to be done. what should we do to make these things? How do we start doing? Because we need to work as a team, right? So just tell me, raise your. Let me start with you. It's been long. I spoke to you. Gracefill, can you now talk? So let me start with you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Like in 1 minute.
Okay, I think one of the
yeah.
Okay, I think we need to start by action. When I mean action, I think one of the things basically I've been able to do is that I noticed that when I go to some Muslim community, they don't want you to talk about early child marriage. You tell the child that no, it is wrong to get married at an early stage, or you need to go to school. So what we do, we use menstruation hygiene period. That okay, we'll put up a banner that we're actually talking about menstruation hygiene. Meanwhile, we talk about reasons why you need to go to school, reasons why your parents don't need to force you to get married. Reasons why we talk about childbirth, and like we use this method with after going for sex education to distribute pads to them and talk to them about sex, sanitary pad, menstruation hygiene. So, but we just have to bring the sex education into it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
They believe that if you don't tell the kids about sex education, they don't know about it. But meanwhile, it's actually a wrong thing to go for. Just like she said, she's a mentorship. We need to talk to them about like sex education that's in more mature way, instead of more sensitive way. We should be sensitive about it. We should not just open it up to them like that. These people are kids, and you need to tell them about part of their body also. And then if uncle is touching this place, this is like, tell these parents to tell their kids about that part of the body and stop hiding the names from them. They should be open and be realistic to them. Okay. I think there's one thing. And let me answer one question. You said that how do we do that in Nigeria about rape issue in Nigeria? No. Sorry, I did not get the name from South Africa. I did not get your name. You're talking about evidence to prove. I think we should run programs. We should keep on going to communities, because if we stay on net talking about these things, those in the community will not get the message because they are not on social media. So we should leave the whole social Instagram thing. We should go to communities. I think that is the action we really need to take. These people in the community, they have no knowledge about these things. They have no knowledge of this sex education. This rape thing, they don't have knowledge about it. And no lawyer is going, let's be realistic. No lawyer is going to help them out. So this is what we need to do. Let's leave the Instagram for those out, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I understand your passion, your emotions. So Abongile, please just tell us, how can we achieve what we've just talked about? I don't want it to just end in just talk. What should we do? Please, in 30 seconds or less.
I think mentorship. Maybe Sanele can talk on that, because I think he's very passionate about mentorship and being practical about this thing. So I think that he can talk more on that, on what we can exactly do.
Deflecting.
Okay. So what about you, Sanele?
Yeah. So I think for me, we kind of doing it indirectly already, not necessarily about the gender-based violence. So we look at the Help a Girl. With the youth, the ladies, you're trying to empower them and uplifting them and educating them, with the talks that Abby has at different schools. You also have Princess. She was Princess, the lady that was unmuted. She's also running something similar, and she's been doing it since 2012. She goes to different schools, youth, especially ladies, and educate them and empower them, and part of what we're trying to do now, I was coming to the picture whereby I was going to be more educating the young men or the young boys. We're having things such as a camp where we go away on a camp for a day or two and we speak about these things. We have about 100 boys, etc. And we communicate to them, and so they can understand as well, because, as you guys know, it's also psychological well-being, mentalness. If that is not right, it doesn't help as well as they grow up. Again, there's just so many things to do.
All right. I know there are so many things to do, but I would like to hear from you, Queen Mercy. What do you think can be done?
I would say child abuse is a social menace that limits education, economic opportunity for family, and nations. So I will say that while we are trying to empower and educate the girl child, we should also do that to the boys. Because when a child is raped, it's a boy. When a child is abused, it's a boy. So we should also educate the boy that it is wrong and it is wrong. So let's not just be educating the girl, and let the boy just go ahead with whatever is in his head or is in it. So in our quest to educate the girl child, we should as well educate the boy so that we'll curtail all this nonsense happening.
Okay, thank you so much, Mercy. Guys, I think this is time to wrap things up, right? So before I let you all go, we've been talking about girl society and talking about the challenges girls face in the present society, and this was brought together by Help a Girl together with Mog Foundation. And we had Sanele from South Africa. He is a cyber strategist, life-changing speaker. We have Gracefill Godwin. She is a humanitarian advocate, and I think she's the founder of G-Sites. And we also had from Carmen Simons. She is the founder of Homeless Sanitary Pads Drive. And we also had from Abongile Kwaza. She is a social worker, philanthropist, and founder of Help a Girl. And lastly, we heard from Mercy Ndubuisi. She is a humanitarian advocate and founder of Mog Foundation. And my name is Umezurike. I am a media personality. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us together. I hope we do this often. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This is amazing. Thank you.